Hello everybody. Welcome back. This is Professor West. As I'm sure you know by now, I'm doing a whole series of very short videos on Microsoft Office. And today I'm going to teach you some very basics of Microsoft PowerPoint. But before I get started, I wanted to bring this up and tell you how you can get Microsoft Office if you don't already have it. I just went to Google. I typed in download Microsoft Office. And notice you get a whole lot of sites right here that all say ad. They're all advertisements. These are not Microsoft Office. This is a company called Software Keep. This is other stuff. So you want to scroll down until you find the one that's from Microsoft.com and click on it. This brings you to the Office 365 page. You can click Shop Now, and it'll take you to where you can actually purchase Microsoft Office. Now, there's a couple things you need to know before you do this. For starters, Microsoft Office has it set up where you can do it by the year for $70, or if you want to buy Office 365 Home, it's $100 right now, or you can buy it for a monthly fee. Now, the reason they do this is because they want to keep people updating it all the time. Instead of before they would sell it like 2007 version, well, it may be 2010 and there's still a lot of people using 2007 and they want people to use the newest stuff. So it can be a little pricey. I mean, $7 a month isn't all that much, but depending on what you need. Now, I wanted to mention, if you are a student or you fit into one of several different categories, you can almost always get a voucher and get Microsoft Office for free. So if you're a student anywhere, check with your school, because there's a very good chance that your school has already set it up, and if not, recommend it to your school, because most schools now do that, where all the students get it for free. You don't get the professional version, you get the student version. But I mean, hey, that does everything that you need it to do. And that will help you to learn everything you need to know about Microsoft Office. And like I said, there's a few others that you can look into that can get it. If you can't pay the $7 a month, then there are some other similar programs to Microsoft Office that you could try. I think Google has their own version of Office. I think it's called Google Office or something like that. But anyway, so once you've downloaded it, when you start up PowerPoint, and let me do a new one real quick. You get to this screen right off the bat. And this screen simply lets you choose what you want to do. If you want to have your presentation look like this, you could choose this one. If you want to have it look like this, you could choose this one, and so forth. There's a lot of options here. These are not all the options by any means. These are just some of the basic ones that you could start with. So for today, I'm going to start with a blank presentation, and I'm going to go in and show you how to add all this in on a different one. So there's a couple things that you need to consider, though, before you decide whether or not you want to add a background or a theme. For example, if you're going to have dark text, it's not going to look very good on a dark background. So, I mean, you'll just have to think ahead about stuff like that, but it'll come to you as we learn a little bit more. So let's go ahead and click blank presentation. If you wanted to search for some different templates or themes, you could, and that would let you search on the internet. So go ahead and click blank presentation for now. This is a typical first slide of a presentation. It gives you a place to add the title of your slide and then a subtitle. So the title would typically be whatever the title is, and the subtitle would usually be, by Professor West, or by John Smith, or Sarah Andrews, or whatever. So all you have to do is click in here and you can start typing. So let's say I want the title of mine to be Lizard People. Sorry, I just watched a show on TV about lizard people. So notice I misspelled lizard, so it gives me the same red underlined squiggly marks that it does in Microsoft Word. I have the same options for fixing it as I did in Microsoft Word. I can right click on it and it gives me several different things. Oh, maybe I wanted blizzard people. No, I wanted lizard people. Okay. And then just like in Microsoft Word, I can highlight. To do so, I can either go to wherever one side and click and hold the mouse button and move it, or I could do the same from this side. it would highlight the whole word, but if there was other words over here, if I would have started here, these words wouldn't be highlighted. And then I can make any changes I want. So let's say I decide this text isn't big enough. I can come up here to where the text is. Notice it says font in this little section. Everything I do right now is going to affect the highlighted font. So let's say I decide 60 is not big enough. I want 80. And I want it to be bold and italics and underline. I'm not going to go through all of this because I went through all this in the Microsoft Word section. If you don't know how to use these tools, then you should watch those videos first, because there's some really good stuff in there. And I really go through how to use all of this. But for now, I'm not going to do that. So let me point out a couple other things. Notice that there's a box here. We call it a text box because we're putting text in it. And notice how there's all these little symbols here all the way around, these little circles. And when I point to this one, it turns to where it's only pointing left and right. If I click and hold and I move to the left, my box gets smaller. If I move to the right, my box gets bigger. But it only goes left and right. Now this one, well, let me go to this one. It's up and down. I can move it down and make my box huge. I can move it up and make my box smaller. This one goes at an angle. This one will do both this and this. So this one will do this one and this one. Basically, if I click and hold, I can move it out and see how much bigger it gets. Notice that my text was centered, so it moved over a little bit. And if you didn't notice that, now you can see it moving back. So as long as I'm going down and over the same, I get the same proportions in my box. So basically, let's say I want to make this box just a little smaller, so I can do that. Now another thing I can do is I can grab anywhere on this line and click and hold, and I can move it up, or I can move it over here, or however I want to do it. And the last thing I want to point out is this little guy right here. This is called the rotate. If I click and hold it, it turns. Turned it all the way up. Now I've got it upside down. I've never created a PowerPoint presentation where I needed my text to be upside down, but if I did, now I have it. So maybe I want to stand it up and move it over here towards the right for a little while. Or maybe I want to spin it again. I decide I want it to face this way. However you want to do it, it's totally up to you. And then let's see, I want to do by Dave Smith. So notice this one's smaller than the title because the subtitle's typically smaller. So if I were going to do this, maybe I want to highlight all of this and change the font color. Maybe I want to make it dark blue because I like dark blue for the name. Why not? And maybe I want to move it down a little bit. Whatever you want to do, you can do. And so that's basically how you handle the first slide. Now, inevitably, you're going to want more than one slide in your presentation. Otherwise, what's the point? So you can come here. You can click on either one of these. If I click on this one, it's going to put the next slide that it thinks I want. And if I click on this one, it's going to come up with a lot of options. This was the title slide. This is what I just created. I could put another title slide, but typically you only have one at the beginning of a presentation. This is the title and content. This is the one that it just put on there for me. You'll notice that I have a title and a place for some content. This one's called section header. This one's to content. If I want to have something over here on this side and something over here on this side. And comparison, title only, a blank slide. And some other options down here. And it totally depends on what you want to do. We use a lot of title and content, so I'm going to put one of those here. Now I've got 3. So let me go to the second one here. Let me just put lizard people are tall. Okay, so what did you notice here? First, this one's not centered. On my slide here, it was centered in the box. Now, I didn't have to leave it centered. I could come here and I could left align it or right align it or however I want to do. Just like in Microsoft Word. And all you got to do to move between slides is click on the slide. Now, let's say I want to do another one and I want to put lizard. Oops, I could spell lizard. People are mean. Oops, I didn't mean to hit the enter button there. And then I say, oh, actually I wanted this slide to go before that slide. All I have to do is click on that slide and hold and drag it. And now this is my second slide. So now my presentation would start with this slide and move to this slide and then to this slide. That is all there is to this stuff, guys. It is that simple. Everything after that is just adding extra stuff. So I could come down here. Right now this is set up for text. Notice there's a bullet there. So lizard people are tall. Let's say I want to put height 5'10". Oops. Or taller. And long tail. Giving them extra height. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, it's totally up to you. But notice that these have bullets. Like I said, this works just like it did in Microsoft Word. If I wanted to highlight these and click the bullets, I could tell it to turn off the bullets. Or if I wanted to choose a different bullet, maybe I want my bullets to look like that. Or maybe I don't want bullets. Maybe I want numbers. Yeah, let's use numbers. So whatever you want to do, all of the font commands are the same. Like I said, if you don't know how to use these, go watch my Microsoft Word videos. It'll be worth it. Because I cover each section. I cover this section. I cover the paragraph section. I cover every relevant section in Microsoft Word. And all of it will be useful here in Microsoft PowerPoint. So that's it. You can make a very basic presentation with just the tools that I've discussed here. And I hope to see you in the next segment. I'm trying to keep these short, but this one was 12 minutes. But I'll see you in the next segment. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to watch for more videos.